York, listen to this. This was Jaylon Johnson on the Herd talking about Caleb Williams and what he saw through, OTAs, and it'll be ramped up even more and more as we get through training camp and as we get into some exhibition games. But this was Jaylon Johnson and his thoughts after practicing a little bit this offseason with Caleb Williams.
Special. I think for me, just really like hearing it and, of course, kind of getting out there and kind of waiting to see what he really looks like and how he looks spinning the ball. Of course, for me, it was as advertised. I think it's definitely something that is special, something that I haven't seen. And I know for me, there was a time we were in the coverage. We tried to give him a different look. I went back to the half. He threw it. I'm like, okay, this is easy interception. And I'm running. That ball floated right over my head. I said, ooh, that's a good touch on that. So I think just even that throw just in itself, just being able to throw the ball to the sideline, right over with good touch, I feel like that's just something that isn't necessarily taught. I'm sure it's something that he's worked out through his years, but I feel like it's definitely something that is special that you don't see too often for guys coming in right away, having that confidence to throw passes like that. And I think for me, it just brings more excitement to see his maturity through this season, because I feel like that's all it's going to be about, is him learning and growing through the mistakes. And I think for me, being one of the leaders on the defense and on the team, just wanting to do what we can on the defensive side of the ball to give him as many opportunities as he needs to be able to succeed on offense. Because I feel like that's what it's going to come down to. We're going to do what we need to do on defense to give them the best chance to put a lot of points up.
I like that praise. And I like when he talks about a play where it was touch and not just, I'm going to rifle it in there. He talked about, we thought we had baited him. We give him something different. I thought I had an interception, and he dropped it right over his head. He's like, ooh, that was nice.
Some plays call for the rifle. Others call for a little bit of touch. They do.
Yeah.
So you've got to know. Quarterback usually sees it, understands what he's going to be looking for, what he needs to do on the specific play, and depending upon what defenders are doing, too.
Yeah. I like it when guys that have been in the league can practice a little bit with young guys and go, ooh, like you always tell the story about playing with, who's the kid from here? Skinina, right? Was it Skinina?
Yeah, no, Jeff Skinina? I didn't play with Skinina.
Who's the guy you always...
Adam Timmerman is the guy I always tell you.
And Jurko says, ooh,
he's
this
a kid out of South Dakota.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, and he came in, and he was a big kid. He's like a playful little puppy dog.
Yeah.
Full of energy. You know how you get a puppy dog, and they're all over the place. Boom, boom, boom. Not like an older, more veteran dog that, he'll sidle up next to you and get what he wants. This all over. His feet were lightning quick.
Yeah.
And it was a detriment to him early because he was all over the place. He beat everybody to wherever they needed to be. And it's just like, slow down.
But you always say
he's
knew
quick enough.
he was
I knew
good.
right away he was going to be good.
Yeah, you're like, no, he's good.
I went to Tom Lovat.
Yeah.
I said, where'd you guys find him? 7th round.
Yeah.
Right? South Dakota.
Pretty good.
I said, he's going to be a good one.
And he was good.
I tell you right away, he was going to be a good one.
Yeah. So you like
he's got the feet, and the feet take linemen where they need to be.
Yep.
You play, you block with your feet, and if your feet are great, then you get to utilize your hands. You get to sit back. I knew right away. I said, this guy's good.
So when the crafty veterans can look at a young kid and go, "Oh, there's something here," like that's always a great thing. And you'd expect that with the #1 pick. I get it, but like it's good to hear Jaylon Johnson say, "Yeah, we've seen some special stuff already." He talked a little bit more about Caleb and just being around the team during the offseason. Here you go.
I mean, he blends in well. I think that was one of the misconceptions for me, and I know even getting caught up in people trying to label him as Hollywood and being all these things. It's like, nah, he just is who he is. He's a confident guy in himself, on the field, off the field. I think it's one of those things where he's very secure in who he is. He's very confident and knows the work that he puts in to be able to have that confidence. And at the end of the day, I mean, he's a Heisman winner. He's the guy that got drafted #1, so I don't feel like he shouldn't have confidence. At the end of the day, I think it's one of those things that he embraces and he walks in who he is as a player, who he is as a man. I think that's something that, seeing him in person, and he blended in right away with the locker room, with the guys, and that's only going to continue to grow. But I think he's came in and handled everything perfectly. Just coming in and gelling with the guys, the offense. You can see everything coming together how it's supposed to be.
On the field and off the field, Jaylon Johnson's impressed. That's good. Now let's get the contract signed. And we're still at a 1. I'm going to stick with Jurko. We're at a 1 until next Tuesday.
Yep, no, 1 until next Tuesday.
And then it'll go up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Maybe to about a 5.
Yeah. I
was listening to Bears Weekly a little bit last night, and I heard Joniak with Thayer and Jim Miller talk about it. And, they were talking about understanding that quarterbacks are going to be viewed a little different sometimes. They view themselves as different. They want to negotiate a little bit more. I might not totally know all the rules, of the salary cap, and I don't know if there's any precedent out there. Like I'm saying I don't know. I can't seem to get a good answer from anyone. I've asked a little bit. What negotiating can really happen here with these rookie contracts other than offset language? Like we have seen some holdouts that have been about offset language. The last Bears first round holdout was Roquan. Again, it was offset language stuff. Like other than some specific offset language, what else is negotiable in the first round contract? It is a scale with a 5th-year option. Like Caleb Williams can't negotiate with the Bears for more money, can he? And I'm legitimately asking this question.
I think you're kind of locked in,
right?
Say plus 3%. I think the number's locked in.
That's been a collectively bargained thing.
Yeah.
Am I? And
the 5th
again,
year
maybe
option,
I'm misunderstanding.
And the 5th-year option has also been collectively bargained in.
Yes,
it was bargained in. I mean, can the Bears say, well, when it comes to that time after year 3, we won't enact it?
Like a handshake deal?
Maybe theoretically they can, but it can't be anywhere in the thing. No, you can't waive that. That's something that was bargained in. That's part of a standard NFL contract.
I'm trying to find out, like, if we're right or wrong on this. And again, I'm asking a few people, and nobody. Is there precedent for any of this? Is there precedent for any sort of extra negotiating in terms of salary, compensation, voiding potential franchise years or 5th-year options? I don't see how that would be doable. But again, I don't know all the ins and outs of, I won't pretend to be anything close to an expert on how these negotiations go and what the collective bargaining agreement is like. And the cap does funny things all the time. Remember, we were told 2 years ago that Aaron Rodgers could never be traded, and he was traded, and $99 million guaranteed somehow went to $30 million. And it was like, how did that happen? So I guess there's always a way to circumvent it, but what could be the problem here other than some offset language? Is there room to negotiate this contract? And if there is, then I'm a little bit more worried. I'm not going to lie. Knowing the Bears and the way they do things, knowing kind of like how Caleb wants to set all this up and he doesn't have representation, now I'm a little bit more worried.
His father and a lawyer, that's who they have.
Yeah, so, okay, I'll be a little bit more worried. Is that possible? Can they negotiate compensation? I didn't think you could. I thought this is it. We've collectively bargained this.
You're locked into place.
The slotted system.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Jason in Ohio. What's going on, Jay?
Hey, guys. Happy Friday. Hey, so I think Hoodie might have touched on that this morning, and I agree with him. I think they're saving the contract stuff for Hard Knocks.
Yeah, that's been floated out there. Yeah, I guess that could be like for the cameras. Jason, thank you. That has been floated out there. A few other people have suggested that. I think Adam was even saying it the other day, too. Like, it could very much just be, you know, we're going to camp now, but the cameras are already, like, they're already taping everything.
Yes.
I'm sorry, that's dumb.
They already tape everything, right?
Yes,
yeah, they do.
Like
an NFL team is not going to operate with the idea what would look best for HBO's Hard Knocks.
Yeah, they tape them for their own. Their own cameras are rolling on it anyway.
When I was talking to you, Carmen, about a couple days ago, my point wasn't that the Bears are waiting. It's that Caleb himself might be waiting.
Yeah, that's what you said.
That like Caleb comes from you? Like he's very self-aware of his position as this highly touted recruit, first overall pick, all this kind of stuff, Heisman Trophy. Like he's very self-aware. He started his own investment firm, like all this kind of stuff. He's already been on like TV with Tom Brady and like doing those videos and all that kind of thing. So he might be the one that's waiting.
That could be.
But again, the Bears already film everything. They have a very good social media department. They do that 1920 football drive. Like HBO would already have access to that video.
Fair enough.
If they wanted it.
Yeah.
Guys, he's not Jack Sanborn. He's alrery famous. He doesn't need Hard Knocks to make a splash.
But
I mean, what are we really talking about? This isn't guy fighting to get on the roster. I mean, he doesn't need Hard Knocks.
No, he needs to be in camp. That's what he needs.
He needs to be in camp, and I just really want to know, like, can they actually negotiate compensation in these rookie deals and in these first-round contracts?
Well, I'm sure there's bonuses that could be negotiated.
Okay, that makes sense.
Bonuses, what's the bonus package going to look like?
Bonuses, that makes sense.
And I told you there's an NFL bonus package out there, too, where if you outperform your thing or you play more than the average Bear, that there's a pool of money set aside for you that, like if you got a 5th-round draft choice that starts 18 games or 17 games now. There's so much talk about 18 games I got in my brain. That there's a pool set aside for you because you played, and they divvy that up at the end of the year.
You did mention that. Yeah, it's like a Super 2 kind of pool for baseball. It's a similar kind of thing.
Yeah.